When thinking of an anime with giant mechs, one's first thought would be two giant robots fighting each other for a cause or another. I mean, who can blame them? With such amazing battles and endless possibilities that giant metal beings can provide, it's hard to think otherwise. But if we go back and think about why we all love giant robots and technology in general, the core of our devotion, we realize that there is something magical about it, no matter how much technology is shoved into it. Something that leaves us in awe, remains in our thoughts, and flourishes in our imagination. Hello audience and welcome to Yvern's Box. Today we'll be looking at the anime known as Robotic, the final work in the science adventure series to have been adapted to anime form from the visual novel of the same name. Done by Production IG spanning over 22 episodes, this 2012 anime provides both a lighthearted side and a darker undertone to the lovable creation that we call mechs. Sometime in the future, a mecha anime becomes so popular that it sparks and powers an interest in the population for robots in general, starting a new wave of robot development, pushing the world forward through technology and creativity. Set in 2019 on a small Japanese island, Robotic tells the story of a group of what can be called friends who form the Robot Research Club, whose goal is to try to build their own giant mech to present at an upcoming major expo. Of course, to create a giant mech requires not only capital, but also a lot of sweat and tears, all while keeping a cool head to avoid possible mistakes. So the plot has them struggle to find sponsors to fund their project, experts to help plan out the work, all while keeping the relationships between the Robot Research Club members strong. Now, Robotic Notes has a lot of fantastic story ideas. It creates good backstories for many, if not all, of the important characters. It shows the building and development of a mech and details the search for the root of a major conspiracy theory. But at the same time, it tries to do way too much. What we get is a hectic story that can be pieced together again, but at great difficulty. When we get to the character development parts, we sometimes leave that on hold to jump back to building, say, the engine of the mech, after which we turn 360 degrees again to look for clues to unlock some super secret. The story might have been well thought out, but the execution was somewhat underwhelming. Still, the story is very interesting and can be funny or dramatic at a whim, but it does have a decent amount of shortcomings. Like I mentioned before, Robotic Notes revolves around the members of the Robot Research Club, with most of the screen time put onto the main male character, Kaito. Now, Kaito is actually a pretty well written character, seeming uncaring on the surface, yet doing things at his own pace, in his own way. He himself has his quirk as being the diehard gamer, refusing to do anything unless beaten at his own game, yet in reality trying his best to help out all while keeping face. His interaction between the other characters and the way he responds to different events keep it interesting and helps him grow as a character. Additionally, he has the all-powerful ability of getting heart attacks. Bet you wish you had that. Then there is the main female character, Akiho, who is the driving force for both the robot project and the show itself. She is much more open with her feelings and does not hesitate to get her way. She persistently and shamelessly gives her all for the creation of the mech that she had always dreamed of, to the point of sometimes causing tension with others. However, she isn't one-sided either, revealing a more vulnerable and weaker side of herself later on when things get hard on her. The other characters are pretty average. While there are some backstory thrown here and there, they still can't go much farther than being the character that their archetype implies. But together, the roster is both varied and entertaining to watch, and overall is pretty good. Production IG comes through yet again, bringing us a work that is both beautiful on the eyes and great on the ears. The anime felt both clean and crisp, with vibrant colors bringing the work to life. The little to non-existent use of CGI is a major plus to what could have potentially been a deal breaker. Both the openings and the endings really fit the anime well, even though they did somewhat spoil the story just a tad bit. However, the biggest thing that sparked an interest in me was the anime shown within the anime, Gun Barrel. I mean, if an anime is so good that it can push society to rush the development of robots, I would be down to watch. And even if it wasn't, the clips and snippets that they showed us look so good that I want to see this in a 26 episode long anime series. Somebody, get to it. Both the dub and the sub are pretty good, but I would recommend the dub. Why? Because of this.
Trevor 1 to Yvern.
This is Yvern.
Yeah, you heard that right. They said my name. Let's listen to that again, actually.
This is Yvern.
And again.
This is Yvern.
And again. Oh, okay, no more. That made my day, though. The biggest mistake you can make before watching this anime is to think that this is Chaos Head 3 or Steins Gate 2. Although the three do form a sort of trilogy, emphasis on the sort of, they are all unique and barely have anything in common. At the same time, it isn't really fair to compare any of them to each other because they strive to achieve different goals. Robotic Notes was the most fun I've had with the three. Sure, it didn't play with time, sure it didn't have a harem, sure it's not Steins Gate 2, but it is still a whole lot of fun. With that said, by compiling the scores I've handed to Robotic Notes for the criterias of story, characters, and aesthetics, we end up with an overall score of 77.22%, making Robotic Notes a pretty decent watch. Thank you all for watching my review of the anime known as Robotic Notes. I hope you enjoyed this review, and if you did, please leave a like or subscribe, since that goes a long way motivating me to make more content. I do reviews like these every Saturday, so expect more from me sooner or later. Anyway guys, thank you all for watching. This has been Yvern and my box.